It is my honor and privilege to introduce our guest speaker this evening, Nichole Compton.
Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to be here. It is such an honor to be with you all. Let me start by telling you a little bit about myself. I'm going to tell you three things. I'm going to tell you who I am, who I'm not, and who I'm supposed to be, and not necessarily in that order. My name is Choice. You see, I'm a former teenage mom. I say former because I'm not quite a teenager anymore. I am a mother whose childhood stopped at the age of 16, 2 days after my 16th birthday to be exact. 2 days after my 16th birthday, I was tasked with the responsibility of caring for a little life, a life of a little boy who was fragile, who was so perfect when I was so imperfect. I was excited and frightened all at the same time. How could I take care of this life, a 16-year-old, while all my friends were out going to the movies and going to the mall? But then, after having my baby, and I'm so proud, then came another one, and another one, and another one, and of course, another one. And as you can see, another one. Too many kids to count. Bunch of baby daddies. Underpaid, unemployed, uneducated. Unfortunately, that's exactly who statistics say that I should be, who I'm supposed to be. So I guess my name is Statistic. Gladly, my name is not. You see, I did get pregnant at the age of 15, and I had my son at 16. And y'all didn't know y'all was gonna get a show to go with your dinner, but you are. You see, according to statistics, when a teenager gets pregnant, every 2 years, she's expected to have another baby. And like I said, then another one, and another one, and another one. 1 second. Well, I can't talk to you all without shoes. So when I got pregnant, I thought that I knew everything. I thought that I was big and bad enough to do anything and everything that I wanted to do. After all, I was on the honor roll, I was on the chess team, and I thought I was bad stuff. After all, what did my parents know? I was 16 and I was in control. Or so I thought. So then my name became Ashamed. Ashamed, hurt, rejected. You see, those were just some of the ways that I felt because of what people had said to me. So when I came to my parents and I told them, yeah, your honor student has a positive test, there were 2 lines. The second one showed up before the first one, y'all. My parents and my loved ones came back and the words that I heard were, are you crazy? What the heck were you thinking? Didn't we teach you better? Your life is going to be over now. Heck, you never finished college, you never finished high school, let alone go to college or get any kind of advanced degree. Matter of fact, you'll never get a job. You'll be lucky to get a GED. You'll be lucky to ever get out of high school or even finish the 10th grade. Those were the words that I heard from family and friends and people who were excited to come to my ceremonies just like this when I was doing well. So then my name became Lost Cause. Because then I heard other words when I heard my name. She's a slut. Y'all would say thought. She's a thought. She's hot. She's hot. Anybody can run through it. She's worthless. What a waste. Y'all see Nikki? Man, she's stupid. I can't believe she let him get her knocked up. She has to be fast. She has to be easy. I wonder who else has hit that. Then the worst words came. My counselor in my high school, remember, I'm 15, fragile, almost 16. My counselor calls my parents into a meeting to tell them she's a liability. We can't have her at our school. We need you to take her elsewhere. But on to what I really am. I'm a miracle. I'm a miracle because I understand the miracle of now. So even though my high school counselor thought that I was a liability, even though my parents had given up and thought that I wasn't going to be able to do the things that I wanted to do, I had to show everybody that I was different, that I could do. So what did I do? I proved them wrong. You see, I'm stubborn. So all the words that they told me that I was, all the things that they said that I was going to be or couldn't do and couldn't be, I decided I was going to do. See, I got a little taste of stubbornness. Some people call it stubbornness. I think it's an asset. I think it's perseverance, personally. I decided that even with my baby at 16, we were going to college. So I packed our bags and we moved away to college. I understood the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to finish high school. I wanted to make something of myself, even when people thought that I couldn't and told me I couldn't. But it wasn't until I actually got to do one of the things that I wanted to do, which was travel overseas. And I lived in Ghana, West Africa. And it was that moment that I realized what the miracle of now is. See, the miracle of now is realizing that every second of every moment of every day, you can hit reset. Every second of every moment of every day, you can change your life. You can do something different. This realization came as I stood in Ghana, West Africa. They have this door. I don't know how many of you all have learned about slave castles. Anybody know what a slave castle is? The slave castle is this big place, this big castle that looks gorgeous from the outside until you walk in and you realize that this is where the Africans who were going to be traded into the slave trade and put on boats and sent to different places such as America were actually housed before they actually went off to sea into slavery. And so the place is gorgeous, it's huge. But on the inside, you realize that many people didn't make it out. Many people didn't survive. And they had this big door that led to the ocean. And when you walk out, it was gorgeous. I mean, beautiful sea as much as you can see, sun shining, it was awesome. And they told us that that door was called the door of no return. Because once you walked through that door, they knew that they didn't know where their family members were going. They just know nobody ever returned. And so I thought about it. I'm like, well, if I'm the descendant of the people who came through that door, they had to be fighters to be able to make it from the door, make it, one, to the castle, because they were, most times, they ended up losing a battle, and that's how they got sold. They went across seas where diseases and other things caught them. They went into slavery where most of them were beat, some of them didn't make it, they were raped, and they ended up dying. But the ones who survived just happened to be some of my kinfolk. So then I thought about it, I'm like, you know, at any moment they could have given up. At any moment they could have not tried to do something different, could have not tried to change their situation. So I must have it in me to be able to make a choice, to be able to do better. So that was while I was in college. I decided on that trip, you know what? I think I might do something else. I think I might do something better. Because I remember, if I have that kind of blood running through me, if I've already seen that that is an option, then I need to seize the miracle of now. I need to make a decision to do something different now. And so I went to college, and everything in college is not easy. It's definitely not easy in college, but it's worth it. But it's 10 times harder when you have a 2-year-old that you have to drag around with you. So we graduated. I say we because he worked just as hard as I did. But remember, I told you, I'm stubborn. I persevered. And I was determined that I wasn't going, since I could go overseas, could live overseas, and I had this revelation of the miracle of now and realizing that I am a miracle, I decided that I was going to go to law school. Once again, the people who thought that I wasn't going to do anything, and I had already proved them wrong by going to college, thought, well, baby, you know, you got 1 degree. Go ahead, that's as good as you can do. Don't even try for anything else. That stubbornness kicked in. I applied to about 45 law schools, got accepted to about 2/3 of them, and decided that I was going to school. And on the day of graduation, or the day before graduation, I talked to my admissions counselor, and I asked her, I said, well, you know what, just how many people actually try to go to law school? I knew it wasn't easy, but I'm just curious. She told me that year, over 12,000 people applied. They accepted 153 to the University of Louisville that year. Out of 153, there were only 3 African Americans, and out of the 3 African Americans, there was 1 female. Guess what? That was me. The one who was stupid, slut, never finished school, hot, threw everything away, whose life was over, was walking across the stage, not to get 1 degree, not to just get the law degree, but to also get a master's in business administration. And so I tell you that not to brag, but to introduce myself. The proper introduction is Nichole Stubborn Taylor Compton. And I tell you that because I tell you my story, like I said, not to brag or to boast, because I am you. I was sitting in the same chairs that you were, probably just a different ceremony. I was the one that was the least likely to succeed. I was the one that people had given up on. But for having people like Ms. Hall and other teachers who reached out, I probably would have been everything that you see me throw on the floor. But instead, I realized that 1, yes, I made a choice, but I wasn't necessarily the bad choice that I made. Yes, I was hurt, rejected, ashamed, but I didn't have to stay there. Yes, people thought that I was a lost cause, but I really wasn't a lost cause because somebody did believe in me, even if somebody was just me at the time. And you are definitely great. You have greatness in you. You are the miracle. So I ask you to seize the miracle now. Then I never want to leave without giving a charge. So I'm going to give you 4 things to take with you. 1, never let anybody else's words, fears, or doubts be what you are. You create what statistic, and I hope it's a good statistic, you want to be. Because the statistic of 12,000 trying to get into school and 1 African-American single mom who wasn't supposed to make it, it's still a statistic. It's a good statistic. It's one that I created, one that I chose, instead of letting what other people thought that they couldn't do and I couldn't do be what I did and who I was. The second thing is to remember that every moment of every second of every day, you have the opportunity to start over, to press reset, to do something big, to do something great. So I expect you to do your best. Number 3 is to know that you have support. The fact that you're here shows that you're not a lost cause, shows that there are people who actually care about you. And if you only had your homeschool coordinator to help you, you have 1 person. And from the looks at it, I see family, I see friends, and I see other people in this room who I know love you or they wouldn't be here, that you can reach out to. But if for some reason along the way, they aren't there to help you, they aren't there to give you the encouragement, or for some reason, they just lose sight of what your potential is, and they use some of these words or labels or tags. Know that you can do it. Know that within you, you have all the encouragement you need. So be encouraged. And the fourth thing, you control your destiny. I could have had 7 kids, 5 baby daddies, underemployed, underpaid, undereducated. And there's nothing wrong with having a lot of kids. I'm the oldest of 8, my daddy's sitting right there. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of kids. It's nothing wrong if all you got is a GED or a high school diploma. That's an accomplishment. All I'm saying is do your best. Be great. Be better than what you think that you can be. And I know that you can, and I expect greatness. So, when the words come to you, where people are labeling you with their doubts and their fears, this is what I expect you to do. I expect to see a story about each and every one of you in the paper, not for being a bad statistic, but because my dentist is over here, my doctor is over there, the person who does my landscaping is over here, because each one of you all have potential and each one of you all have greatness. So I challenge you to be the miracle and seize the miracle of now. Thank you. And no, I don't have 7 kids, I have 1. I stopped at 1, and these are just pictures of my grandbaby.
That's okay. We're going to leave this on the floor, because that's probably where it needs to stay. And I would love, Nichole, thank you. You're a miracle, but to us, you're a blessing and you're a gift. So thank you for sharing with us tonight. And I think it's very powerful because I think all of us in this room have a story. And I think all of us can think of people that believed in us and people that helped us get to that next level. And I think every student that walks up here tonight to receive this award, this is about you. This is you overcoming. For some of you, it's overcoming the statistics. You're making your own statistic, and it's positive. There is something very special about each and every one of you. And as you walk up in front this evening, I want you to savor every moment, because this moment is for you. This is all about you. And the other thing I want to share with you is I want you to dream big. I remember when I was in high school, and I remember always thinking about what I cannot do. But I had someone in high school, even though I struggled, high school did not come easy for me. But I surrounded myself with folks, and especially adults, that cared for me and believed in me. And what they told me is they called me Benji. They said, Benji, dream big. Dream big and don't let anyone step in your way. And I too, I struggled in high school, but I graduated. I had some people who didn't think I was going to go to college. But Nichole, that drove me, because I was going to prove them wrong. So I went to a junior college. I struggled, but I finished junior college, and then I went on to college. I finished college with a 2.9. I was proud of that.
All right.
And then I went on to graduate school, and I didn't stop, and I finished graduate school. And now I'm standing here, and I'm looking out in this room, and I see young adults in this room, youth in this room, who are full of potential. And I hope each and every one of you have dreams, and not small dreams, but big dreams. And don't let anyone step in your way. So tonight, we're going to call each of you by name, and we're going to